Jimmy Carr broke my brain with this one. Everyone is jealous of what you got. No one is jealous of how you got it. Let that sit in your gut for a second. People see the highlights, the success, the car, the body, the status, but they don't give a fuck about the sacrifice. They don't see the mornings when you woke up in the dark, broke as hell, doubting everything. They don't see the meals you skipped, the parties you walked past, the night you cried alone, questioning if any of this shit is worth it. They just want the view, but no one wants to climb. That's how this game works. It's not fair, it's not glamorous, it's lonely, it's brutal, and it's built for motherfuckers who are willing to suffer. Because suffering isn't a glitch in the system, it is a system. You want the win? Cool. Now eat shit for a decade. People love to cheer when the confetti falls, but they were silent when you were out there in the cold, bleeding from your soul, screaming into the void with no one listening. Everybody wants to be remembered, but here's the kicker. In 3 generations, nobody will remember your name. Not even the motherfuckers who judged you when you were chasing your dream. So what's it really about? What's left when the applause fades? You, just you, your voice, your standard, your reflection in the mirror at 4 a.m. when nobody's watching. You better make damn sure you're proud of that person, because that's who you die with. Do it for you. Not for validation, not for followers, not for revenge, for the voice inside you that refuses to die, for the warrior buried beneath all the excuses, because once this chapter closes, you don't get a do-over. So let me ask you something. Are you chasing trophies, or are you willing to walk through hell to earn them? If this hit you hard, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you seriously for showing up. You're already ahead of 99% of the world just by choosing to face this truth. Let's get one thing clear, the chapter you're in right now. That quiet, cold ass part of the journey where you feel completely alone, that's the part every champion goes through. It's not some mistake. It's not a detour. It's the initiation fee to greatness. See, people don't talk about this part. They'll show you the results, the stage, the applause, but they won't show you the 5 years in the dark. The Rocky montage everyone loves in the movies, that shit takes 1 minute on screen, but in real life, it's years. And nobody's clapping. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. That's the truth. You're learning how to start a business, recording podcasts no one hears, staring at your own shadow while your old friends don't get it and your new circle doesn't exist yet. Good. That means you're on the path. Because this right here, this isolation, this self-doubt, this grind with no scoreboard, this is the lonely chapter. You don't fit in with your old crew anymore, but you haven't leveled up enough to run with the ones you admire. So it's just you and your reps and your pain and that voice in your head telling you to fucking quit. And I'm telling you right now, don't, because this is where everyone else taps out. This is where they say, maybe I'm not built for this. This is the filter that separates the soft from the savage. If you can push through this hell where nothing makes sense and you feel like a ghost in your own life, you will come out on the other side harder than steel. You think you're behind? You're not. You're early. You're in the arena. And the hits you're taking now are sharpening the blade. These reps in the dark, they'll be the reason you dominate in the light. Remember this, the lonely chapter isn't a punishment. It's the motherfucking proving ground. So ask yourself, when the world goes silent, do you still show up? Because if the answer is yes, then you're already ahead of the game. Most never even make it to this part. Stay tuned. You want to know when you're getting close? When the hate shows up? That's right. When the whispers turn into stares, the sarcasm gets louder, and the people you used to ride with start throwing shade, that's not the time to fold. That's the goddamn signal. You're on to something real. Weak people hate the mirror. And when you start grinding, when you start becoming something they're too afraid to face, you become that mirror. So they attack it. You start hearing, must be nice. Oh, it must be fucking nice. Where were they when you were in the trenches? When you were working free jobs, learning from scratch, sweating in the garage, crying into your pillow, putting your entire identity on the line? Where were they when the only feedback you got was silence? They weren't there. Nobody claps when you fail. Nobody watches you fall down and get up 10,000 times. But the moment you succeed, they show up with their excuses dressed as criticism. Overnight success, lucky break, changed. Nah, motherfucker, you didn't change, you evolved. You didn't get lucky, you built this when no one gave a damn. The hate, that's your confirmation letter. It means you're climbing. It means your energy, your focus, your fucking presence is disrupting the comfort of people who gave up. And now they want you to shrink so they don't feel small. But you don't shrink. You grow louder, you go harder. Because if they hate you now, wait till you cast a shadow so big they can't even be seen. That's real revenge. Not proving them wrong, not getting even, just winning so big they disappear in your dust. So when the hate starts flowing, don't duck, don't soften. Let it fuel you, let it sharpen your blade. Because if nobody's hating on you yet, you're not grinding hard enough. Ask yourself, are you hated for who you're becoming or loved for staying the same? Let that sink in. Everybody wants to be exceptional until it requires being different. You can't be one of them and one of the greats. You can't belong to the crowd and rise above it at the same damn time. That's not how this shit works. You want to stand out? Then stop trying to fit in. Stop looking for approval from people who never had the balls to chase anything. When your friends start saying you've changed, they're not lying. They're revealing. What they really mean is you've grown beyond what I'm comfortable with. And that's not your problem. Here's the truth. Being exceptional means being the exception. That means being misunderstood, judged, left out, mocked. And you better fucking embrace it, because that's the price. You think greatness comes wrapped in applause and back pats? It doesn't. It comes with silence. It comes with being left out of the group chat. It comes with being the one who's always training, always building, always alone. You either live in conflict with the world or in conflict with yourself. When you try to fit in, you lose a part of who you are. But when you chase what you're truly meant for, you'll piss people off. You'll trigger their insecurities. They'll talk shit. Let them. Comfort is a liar. It whispers to you to stay small. Exceptional people reject that voice. They walk straight into the fire and say, this is mine now. They own their difference. They stop explaining themselves to people who haven't earned the right to understand. You want to change your life? Then stop needing people to clap for you. Start clapping for yourself. Be that lone motherfucker in the stands, applauding your own progress while everybody else laughs. They'll stop laughing when the lights hit you. You don't get to be legendary and liked. You don't get to break the mold without pissing people off. So make a choice. Fit in and fade away, or stand up and stand out. Because being exceptional ain't about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than your old self and being brave enough to stay that way even when it costs you everything. They've let softness become the new standard. And it's never been easier to dominate, because it's never been easier to quit. Just by showing up and refusing to be average, you separate yourself from 90% of the world. Don't talk about potential. Don't talk about what you could be. Show me what you're doing right now. If you got energy and no responsibilities holding you down, that's not a disadvantage. That's a fucking advantage. Use it, burn it, stretch it until you break. You want freedom? It's on the other side of discipline. You want peace? It lives in pain. You want respect? Start by respecting your damn self in the gym, in the kitchen, in your habits. Because once you build your body, your mind has no choice but to rise with it. You say you wanted to dream, the impact, a level that only 1% ever reach. But are you ready to pay the full price? Because the truth is, greatness ain't free. It costs you everything. Your time, your comfort, your fake ass friends, your weekends, your F-Care King piece. See, most people think success is some highlight reel. They think it's the final product. They see the end result and assume it came easy. What they don't see is the chapter where you give up things you actually want to get what you really want more. That's the sacrifice. That's the real test. You've got dreams, then you got to bury distractions. You got goals, then say goodbye to balance. People love to preach work-life balance like it's some badge of honor. But when you're in the dirt, building something from nothing, balance is a luxury you earn later, not something you start with. This is just supposed to be hard. You're supposed to be exhausted broke, overwhelmed, and still moving forward. That's the path. If it feels unfair, it means you're doing it right. Everyone wants the castle, but no one wants to storm the walls. When you see someone winning, just know they traded years of fun for freedom. They sacrificed moments of pleasure for a legacy. That's the grind most people will never understand. They don't get why you don't go out, why you don't party, why you disappear for weeks. It's because you're too busy becoming the version of you they'll never catch up to. So stop crying about what you gave up. Start being proud of what you're building. You didn't lose a social life, you gained a fucking future. And don't expect applause. In fact, expect resistance. People will try to drag you back to the old you. That's how you know you're evolving. Ask yourself right now, what am I willing to burn to become who I was born to be? Because if you're still trying to keep everyone happy, you're not serious about your mission. Sacrifice isn't punishment. It's proof you're ready. You want to know the difference between you and the people winning? It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's consistency. Cold, relentless, unsexy consistency. Everyone talks about greatness like it's some magical moment. Nah, greatness is built in the reps no one claps for. It's the early mornings, the skip parties, the ignored cravings, the quiet nights when the only voice cheering you on is your own. Lazy people don't know how to start. Weak people don't know how to finish. But winners, they don't know how to stop. They keep going, even when they feel like shit. They show up when there's no dopamine, no applause, no light at the end of the tunnel, because they understand the work doesn't care how you feel. It just cares that it gets done. People keep asking, how do I stay motivated? You don't. You train yourself to execute without needing motivation. That's what separates killers from cowards. Your habits are louder than your inspiration. Your discipline is worth more than your dreams. You ever hear someone say, you want to solve your problems? Start with your fucking body. You want more confidence, more clarity, more fire in your gut? Get your ass in the gym. Lift the weight. Push past comfort. Burn off the weakness. Because there's no faking discipline when your heart's pounding and your muscles are screaming. You don't need more books. You need blood, sweat, and steel. The fastest way to change your mind is to change your body, to confront the version of yourself that's soft, slow, distracted, and say, you don't get to run the show anymore. Every man out here whining about purpose, about lost motivation, I promise you, get strong, get shredded, and suddenly life starts making sense. Not because aesthetics matter, but because when you conquer your flesh, your mind follows. Strength isn't just in the biceps. It's in your decisions. It's in showing up when no one's watching. It's in denying the cookie, running in the rain, grinding at 5 a.m. when your excuses are louder than your ambition. You're distracted? Good. That means you got enemies in your mind. You kill them with work. You drown them in reps. You outpace your doubt with forward motion. 1 mile, 1 workout, 1 more fucking round. Most people are poor, unfocused, and weak, not because of the system, but because they've accepted mediocrity. They've confused comfort for happiness. I've been trying. Fuck trying. Show me the scoreboard. Out of 21 meals, how many did you eat clean? Out of 7 days, how many did you show up to train? Out of 0 chances, how many did you execute without excuses? You're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're inconsistent. And the worst part, you know it. That's the pain that eats you alive. That shame, that frustration, it's your soul screaming for you to be who you said you become. Stop waiting for your big break. Stack your small wins. Stack your boring ass days of doing the hard thing over and over until it becomes who you are. That's the game. Consistency never looks impressive in the moment, but at the end, when they're still talking about what they could have been, you'll be too far ahead to hear it. Ask yourself, are you showing up when no one's watching? Because that's where the real you is forged. You want to be patient? Then act patient. You want to be disciplined? Then move like a savage, even when your body's begging for the easy way out. That's the truth. Most people don't want to hear you. Don't become the person you admire by feeling like them. You become them by doing what they F times king do. You think I feel fearless? You think I feel patient? Hell no. I've just put so many reps in the fire that fear and doubt don't get a vote anymore. I move through that shit. Not because I don't feel it, but because I do. Every damn day. Courage isn't about removing fear. It's doing the thing while scared out of your mind. And patience is stacking reps when your whole system is screaming, why isn't this working yet? Too many of you are waiting to feel motivated before you move. But motivation is a F times king lie. The real ones move without it. The real ones wake up, lace up, and execute when their emotions are crashing and burning. Because they're not chasing feelings, they're chasing facts. So stop telling yourself you're not ready. No one is. That's the whole damn point. If you were ready, it wouldn't mean anything. You think lions feel ready every time they hunt? No, they act anyway. And so should you. Ask yourself, are you going to wait until you feel like it? Or will you act like the person you said you'd become? That's the difference between who you are and who you want to be. You're scared. Good. That means you're standing at the edge of something that matters. But let me tell you the truth about fear. It looks like an F times king ocean until you step into it. Then you realize it's just a puddle. Cold maybe, uncomfortable, yeah, but shallow as hell. Most of this shit you're afraid of is smoke. It's loud bark, no bite. It's your mind playing tricks, blowing up scenarios that don't exist. You think you'll drown, but the moment you take that first step, you don't die. You adapt. You keep walking. That's how fear works. You feed it with hesitation. You starve it with movement. And yeah, you're gonna lose sleep. You're gonna doubt yourself. You're gonna sit there wondering if you made the right call and you won't have the answer for years. But that's what it means to build something real. That's what it means to step into your potential. Fear ain't the enemy. It's the F times king indicator. It shows you exactly where your growth lives. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding fear, which is why they never build shit worth remembering. But you lean into it, you run toward the discomfort, that's the difference. And if you fail, so what? You'll survive, you'll get wet, you'll stumble, but you'll still be standing. Meanwhile, the ones who stood still will still be frozen in the same spot, safe, soft, and invisible. I'd rather drown chasing something that matters than stay dry in a life that doesn't. So next time fear creeps up and whispers in your ear, you look it dead in the eye and say, you don't run this show. Then you take one step forward. That's all it takes, just one. And the next one gets easier. Ask yourself, is fear protecting you or is it robbing you? Because if it's the second one, it's time to stop listening. You think the pain means something's wrong? Nah. The pain means you're on the right F times kinking track. That resistance, that pressure, that voice in your head screaming for comfort, that's not a stop sign. That's a signal, a goddamn green light. Because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And if everyone could do it, it wouldn't mean shit. Let me break it down. Hard as a filter, it's the gatekeeper. It's the reason 99% of people quit and 1% rise. The moment you feel like tapping out, like backing off, that's the exact moment you got to push harder. Because right then, right when it sucks the most, that's where growth starts. This isn't about chasing struggle for the sake of it. It's about understanding that struggle is the currency. You want strength, pay in pain. You want peace, pay in perseverance. You want power, pay in the reps that make you want to puke. The truth is, the people who win don't have easier lives. They just stopped expecting ease. They wake up knowing today's going to hurt and they show up anyway. They stopped looking for the path of least resistance and started building their capacity to endure. That's how you flip the game. You stop flinching when it gets hard and you start smiling. Because most mother of times, cuckers are tapping out right there. You know that pain is pushing everyone else back, but not you. Not today. You want an edge, Rewire your brain so that when shit gets hard, you say good, because that means fewer competitors, less noise, more space for you to dominate. It's not about making the best decisions, it's about making a decision and executing the shit out of it until it becomes better through reps. Most people delay action because they don't want to look stupid. You know what's worse? Looking back in 5 years and realizing you never even F times king and tried. That you stay stuck in theory while other people lapped you in practice. Let me hit you with this. If you did 1,000 bad reps, you'd be better than 99% of the world. Not because you're smarter, but because you showed up and swung the bat every damn day. Success isn't about luck. It's about removing the need for luck through sheer force. You want to get good at something? Start doing it so much they can't ignore you. You want a podcast? Record 200 episodes. You want to write? Drop 1,000 articles. You want to speak? Get on every stage you can find. Don't sit there thinking, start swinging. Messy action beats perfect hesitation every time. Every lonely night as fuel. And remember, nobody cheers in the middle. They only show up at the start line and the finish. So clap for your damn self, root for your damn self, because the middle is where the magic happens and no one's watching. But you are, so when it gets dark, and it will be your own F times kinging light, when it gets heavy, and it will carry it anyway, when it gets lonely, and it will remind yourself, this is what hard feels like, and hard is proof you're still in the fight. Ask yourself this, can you stay standing when the whole world forgets you? Because that's what makes you dangerous. Now get out there and become the one no one can ignore.